Alright, so I just need to do this video because people are being stupid. And I know it's big right now, the huge controversy surrounding Rise of the Tomb Raider, the sequel to 2013's reboot of the Tomb Raider franchise, is going to be exclusive to the Xbox One for a limited time. It has been confirmed. And so the fans are completely in outrage, and, you know, kind of rightfully so. But this was, you know, in itself, if you strip away all you know, the controversy surrounding, you know, with the fans and stuff like that, this is a smart business move, truly, by Microsoft. But people are pointing the fingers at the ones that don't deserve it. And that is the main issue that I wanted to talk about here. Alright? Now, we as humans, you know, human beings, we like to immediately act based on our emotions instead of intelligently thinking it out. Alright? And, you know, as gamers are pretty much one of the biggest types of drama queens out there on the planet. And, you know, there's so much controversy surrounding every little detail, not just about, you know, exclusivity, but consoles and companies making decisions, you know. And we like to act before we think. And this is a clear, this is clear what people did for Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raiders. Everyone acted and started pointing the finger at Crystal Dynamics for making this decision and for going through with this, and people are in outrage. So the main issue I'm having here is I'm going to tell you guys how to look at this issue from an intelligent perspective, alright? And how, hopefully by doing this, I can sort of calm you guys down and more or less deflect the blame onto someone who really does deserve it, alright? Because it's not Crystal Dynamics. This is the situation that happened, alright? And this is I'm going to tell you guys, this is exactly how it happened, alright? Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Crystal Dynamics was developing the game, alright? They probably started immediately after they finished Tomb Raider in 2013, you know? They probably wrote the script, they got it all set, doing a sequel. And Square Enix was funding that sequel. Microsoft came over to Square Enix and they're like, you know what? Here's a couple $1 million. Can we work out something where we get exclusivity for the game for, you know, like a limited time or whatever? And Square Enix was like, you know, we're not doing that well in sales. Well, ooh, money! And they grabbed the money and they said, all right, fine. You know, we'll give you guys exclusivity of Rise of the Tomb Raider for X amount of months. All right, and because I don't think it's actually more than a year. All right, at worst case scenario, it's probably a year exclusivity, but I could not imagine it being any more than that. So Square Enix took the money. And, you know, they're having some financial issues. If you guys remember, Tomb Raider 2013 sold pretty well. It reached, I think, 4 million copies sold on the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. And Square Enix considered that a commercial failure. Tomb Raider was considered a commercial failure by their standards. And you know, the problem is here is Square Enix, their expectations were like, oh, we expected to hit 7 million sales. And it's like, you're expecting to push Call of Duty numbers for a franchise that almost, you know, almost died. Tomb Raider was almost practically dead, you know, before it got the reboot. And it used this old formula that didn't really evolve much, and people just got tired of it, and it wasn't advancing. And so the Tomb Raider reboot really saved the franchise in the end, but for whatever reason, Square Enix predicted the sales would be, you know, like Destiny or Call of Duty numbers, or, you know, anything of like of those famous hardcore franchises, and it's like, no, you know, 4 million is a great sales number. It really is, truly. And so it sold pretty well, but Square Enix still considered the game a commercial failure because it did not meet their standards. That being said, so they got the money, and they then contacted Square. They then contacted Crystal Dynamics, all right, because this is Square Enix contacting Crystal Dynamics. They're the publisher, and they said, "We just made this deal with Microsoft. We got this money. So what we need you guys to do is keep your holiday 2015 release date, but it's exclusive. It's exclusive to Xbox One first. So you guys are gonna be developing the game on Xbox One, and it needs to come out on your holiday 2015 release date." And Crystal Dynamics said the only thing that they could say. Okay, that's what they said. People have to understand that developers don't really have creative control over the games that they make. This is the biggest turnoff when it comes to developing games, all right? Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, I have these great ideas, but I don't want to lose possession of my IPs. And this is the big issue, right? Because Crystal Dynamics, you know, they love the fans, and do you really think that if they really had the choice, they would want their game exclusives on Xbox One? No, they want everyone to play it. As a developer, you want everyone you could possibly get to play your game, and you want people to play your game from all platforms, you know, as soon as possible. And so that being said, really, Square Enix is the one to blame here, because they have control over the Tomb Raider IP. Crystal Dynamics just develops the game. I mean, how awful would it be if let's say you're developing a game. Take any one of your video game ideas going on in your head, all right, if you have any or whatever, or take your favorite gaming franchise and you're developing that game. What if the publisher for that franchise came to you and said, "You're doing this because of money"? Because we got paid and we made this deal, and you're like, "But I don't want to do that," and they're like, "Well, too bad, you know, we're the ones who fund the project." And that's what goes on. Video games are a business more than anything, you know, and there's always this controversy stuff that's going to happen, and you know, everyone's sitting there and they're pointing a finger at Crystal Dynamics. I mean, how awful is that? I mean, here Square Enix is the one who's making the decisions here. Crystal Dynamics just has to go with it, and they're the ones who are getting the blame. Does that sound fair? It certainly doesn't to me. I mean, it's just frustrating because, again, people like to act and don't think about the situation. They just want to act and they just want to get their opinion out there, and it's just, you know, screw everyone else. This is bullshit, and you know, they don't like to think about it, and because they don't like to think about it, the wrong people get blamed. So, in all honesty, stop blaming Crystal Dynamics, because they don't have any control whatsoever. They just make the games and they just do whatever Square Enix says, because Square Enix controls the money, and when you control the money, you control the power. So the blame needs to stop on them. It's just, again, it's just the intelligent, correct way of thinking. And if anyone knew anything, if anyone thought about this before, no one would be sitting there tweeting at Crystal Dynamics and saying, you know, fuck you guys are like complete, you know, shitheads. And even if Crystal Dynamics said no, they would just lose, you know, their jobs, or something else would happen. You know, it's, again, like, game developers to the publishers, they're expendable. And get anyone else too, you know, because when you're a developer, you care about the creative vision, but when you're a publisher, you care about making the profit. And Square Enix only cares about making the profit. It doesn't matter what the sales were. Microsoft must have paid them a lot of money, and we still don't know how much they paid them. We'll probably never know how much they paid them, but it was enough for them to say, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and do this. It doesn't matter if Tomb Raider sold worse on Xbox One than it did on PS4. It doesn't matter if just historically it would sell more on other platforms. That doesn't matter. What matters is how much they got paid. It was probably a good deal, and it was enough for Square Enix to say, you know what, hey, we can do this and not take a loss. Or maybe they're just stupid over there and they will take a loss. You know, but besides the point, just go with that, because that's really what happened here. Square Enix made the decision, and you know, I said this before in the past, and I'll say it again. Square Enix management is complete shit. Like, their whole management system, they need a real change, because, you know, like, not just decisions like this, but they just made decisions in the past that are just completely stupid. Like, their whole management system over there, it's forcing their company on the brink of collapse. They have all these great franchises too. I don't want to see them go at all. I mean, but it's just that in terms of their management side, they need to get some new people in, you know, because they have Tomb Raider, which is awesome. They have Hitman, which is great. You know, they have Sleeping Dogs, I guess, is a franchise. So you know, that's great. They do make a lot of good games. I mean, the Deus Ex franchise is another one of my favorites. So it's like, I don't want to see anything happen to them, but you know, I call bullshit when I see it, and I'm calling bullshit on the people who are blaming Crystal Dynamics for a decision that they had no control over. So that's it. I hope you guys, you know, I hope this cleared some things, and cleared some things going on in your head, and I hope you guys can just, you know, move on with an intelligent, here's the thing, no amount of complaining at all will change the fact that this is going to happen. All right, doesn't matter if you start a petition, the money's already there. The only way to stop this, the only intelligent way to stop this is if everyone came together and collectively donated money to a fund, right? A trust fund. And if the fans themselves came over to Square Enix and said, here's more money, which is probably, again, millions of dollars, we don't want Tomb Raider to be exclusive to Xbox One for this amount of time, that's the only way you can really prevent this. It doesn't matter if you sign a petition, alright, because the money controls everything. If you don't have money, then you don't have a say in anything. So no amount of complaining, no amount of tweeting, no amount of controversy, whatever, that any one of you guys want to stir up is going to help the situation. It's going to happen. Rise of the Tomb Raider is going to release on Xbox One first. It will happen. It's going to have exclusivity for 6 months to a year, and then it's going to release on other platforms. And then we're going to move on. That's it. That's exactly what's going to happen. No one's going to be boycotting anything. And even if you do boycott something, there's still millions of other fans that are just going to say, you know, fuck it, and purchase the game. One person in this situation cannot make a difference. I don't care who you are. You know, one person cannot make a difference in this situation. So, best thing you can do right now, move on. It's going to happen, and I don't really know what else to say. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna head out, but let me know what you guys think. I mean, this is truly what happened. It's Square Enix pulling the strings here, and Crystal Dynamics just is getting is getting all the fire. It's complete bullshit. It's like, how would you feel if someone used you as a meat shield? Not good, huh?